Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Deiser. I'm here with my Dami Health Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Lane. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's get to the news. The first thing that came up in the news this morning, and it's really interesting, is a small study that showed that obesity, or a higher BMI, is still the marker we're using to track weight gain, is associated with poor memory. Yeah, changes in the hippocampus where short-term memories are stored. And I think that this is... the brain is really malleable, and it changes occur in the brain quite easily. So it's a larger. It just shows what changes can happen just by your healthy eating. Like poor eating can contribute to so many different things. Not only can it contribute to a worse short-term memory, but hormonal disruption, energy changes, all different
I'd say
types of
moods.
things. Mood changes. Oh yes, definitely. And we've seen lots of that in both of our practices, where when you fix this, when you adopt a healthy lifestyle, these things come back into order. And I think that's what they'll find in the subsequent studies.
Definitely.
You've seen that. I mean, you bring up mood, but it's an easy one to track. People feel better when they're eating healthier and maintaining a leaner body.
Yeah, I think you become more stable as a human being.
I know that when I reached my peak of weight, which was during school.
Oh my gosh, I forget about that all the time.
Do you remember that?
Well, I remember only when I see the photos.
Yes.
And it makes me laugh. I mean, because you were not moving for the first time in your life. You were just sedentary, focused on school for a whole year. You really had to let everything else go. And you kept eating at the same level. Oh my gosh, David, that's funny. Anyway, sorry, continue.
No, I agree. It was funny. I looked down at the scale and it said 215.
I just can't even picture it now.
I know. 180 since I was 14 years old, and then all of a sudden, it felt like one day, I was at 215.
And that has to be common with people that were athletes, because you get away with eating so much more. You don't have to, because you were so physically active, you didn't, when you were younger, have to be, intense about what you ate. But then as you did get older, when you were in university, you did eat very clean there those last couple of years. And then you just stopped. Like, you were working out so intensely, and then you just stopped everything and had to just commit to this education. And you kept eating the same way. That has to happen to a lot of men.
No, I see it all the time. And
they would say, but I'm eating the way I always did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because that would be true for you.
It is true. And there is a bit of research about this.
Really?
And there's some theories out there as to why this happens. While you're an athlete, your muscles get used to a certain caloric intake, and then it gets used to burning a certain number of calories. And that affects your appetite hormones, leptin and ghrelin. They go up and down depending on what sort of lifestyle you're living. And it also affects your blood sugar regulation, how your muscles pull in blood sugar,
right?
Using insulin. So when an athlete all of a sudden slows down, it doesn't participate in the same type of activity that they were, the muscles are still craving sugar. They're still used to a certain caloric input. The hormones in the digestive tract are still used to being a certain way to support the need for the high calorie. And then all of a sudden it changes, but those things continue, and you just eat and eat and eat.
Right.
And everything changes.
Right.
But I can really speak to feeling awful.
Yeah.
And I think short-term memory is just one of those things where you don't really notice that there's changes. You don't really notice that you're not as sharp, you're not as focused as you once may have been. until it's too late, until it's compounded, and then you think, oh my gosh, I can't remember anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as sharp as I once was.
Right.
And now we know that can be associated with obesity.
Right.
So just another reason to, you know, maintain a healthy weight.
Right.
And eat high quality nutrient dense foods.
Diet. Mm.
Definitely. So if changes are happening in the hippocampus, you're exactly right. Mood changes, neurotransmitter changes can be happening all over the place. I'm sure, and I'm sure that research will come out.
Oh, for sure.
So story number 2 we've got here is something that came out of the University of Florida, and I can't remember if we've spoken about this yet or not. It's not in any of the show notes that I've seen, but it's a very small study and it's a very simple study, and it was a parent-child study where all they did was have the parent-child combination have 1 handful of almonds per day, and then they tracked their diet for a certain period of time. So the only thing they had to change in their diet was they didn't eat almonds before. They had to add in a handful of almonds.
Okay.
And we have this measure in research called the Healthy Eating Index. With 1 handful of almonds per day, their Healthy Eating Index score went up significantly overall. So if you analyze their diet after they started eating the almonds, they were eating much healthier.
So you're saying they were making better choices after eating the healthy fats?
Absolutely.
So, wow.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
It's really exciting because what it shows is that replacing 1 snack a day with almonds can increase your Healthy Eating Index score on its own. Mm-hmm. But also, I think it speaks to the fact that when you add in healthy snacks that are nutrient dense, you know, good snacks, it teaches you to. You want to continue that trend, don't you?
It feels good. It gets the ball rolling.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the times we think that the biggest mistake I see is that people go all in, and we've talked about that before.
Yes, and I'm the worst.
They decide that they want to be fit, and I mean, I used to be the worst. It took me years to get off this cycle, and the reason I'm so passionate about it is because it was such a waste of time.
Right.
And if I just did it the normal way the first time, I could have saved myself years of torture.
Oh.
So definitely. I don't speak from it as in these people do this and I'm sitting up here. No. We were those people.
January 1st, Monday mornings, those are my times.
And you get all the apps and you get all the gadgets and you get the new workout clothes and you get the gym membership and you get the food scale and you're just so particular and no, I can't have, you know, any beets combined with my whatever, and it's just foolishness. And then 3 days in, you're just exhausted and you're like, you know what, this isn't worth it, I'm going through the drive-thru. So I think that this speaks to that as well. Like, you know, one thing for myself is if I can just start my day with a healthy breakfast. If I can just fit in, for me, my green smoothie. It makes me feel that much better, and I swear I'll do, you
make great choices.
I'll do more cardio that day. I'll make sure that I get in all my squats and all my lunges and do my all-day workout, thing. Like, I do all those things. It's the ball.
Right.
You know.
I think it's the same with your environment.
Oh, 100%.
When you do those small steps to keep your environment clean, and you know, when you like where you're at.
Organized.
It also gets the ball rolling.
Totally. I completely agree.
With me, I'm really interested in some of the things I've seen about protein powder, and how when people have 1 scoop of protein powder in a smoothie in the morning, the reports are that they definitely seem to then make better choices throughout the course of the day, in terms of eating especially.
It's true for me.
It's true for me as well. I really have to say.
If I stack my deck early in the day, say I can get my workout in, say I get those meals right away, like get those things that I've been, you know, I mean, my diet's always healthy, but sometimes it'll fall off where I will like not take the extra time to do the powerful green smoothie with the extra protein, blah, blah, blah. But if I just make an effort, if I set a goal on Sunday night, okay, tomorrow morning, and I become superwoman throughout the day. The day expands, I let in more good, and I accomplish way more.
And that feels good. Like
we were talking about, we had this wonderful gift a couple weeks ago where we had our mornings off together, which doesn't happen. It's very rare. And just coincidentally, the weather cooperated. And we got out and did our workouts outside each morning. And both of us, by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, felt like we won the day, and like we both felt so accomplished before the day was even half done.
It feels good.
Like, we were texting each other, and we were like, okay, I feel like I've done everything today. And we were both, it's so funny, like, we felt so accomplished. And again, you know, like, that's not possible for us every day with our schedules currently. So you have to do those things. Like, for me, like I said, like, setting up that power green smoothie and making sure I do, you know, my workouts. And like I said, sometimes I don't have time, so I do my all-day workout theory. And as long as I commit to it and keep doing it, I don't know, it's just better. It's just, it gets the ball rolling.
Definitely. And it doesn't have to be any of those things even. It can be something as simple as a handful of almonds 100%. For your morning snack.
And I have to believe that the healthy fats and the fiber aid in digestion, and now we know that digestion is connected to brain function. Like, I have to believe that it... It's wonderful. For
sure. I mean, you're getting lots of healthy fat. You're right. And I bet you fiber is playing a role. And, you know, they have they're a bit salty. You can have them salty, which is very satisfying for those types of different cravings.
It just opens the door. Like, oh, these are delicious.
Yeah.
What else do people say is really yummy and healthy? Oh, an apple a day. Like, you know, you get into that.
There's so many good healthy snacks. I mean, almonds are a good place to start because they're delicious.
Yes.
And the people who didn't, they also, in the same study, they used almond butter instead for people who didn't like almonds.
Yeah, that's
They
good.
just used almond butter. Fine.
Yeah.
No change. It had the same results.
Wonderful.
Love it. The third thing and the next stage of today's episode I want to talk about is a bigger conversation. I don't have a study or anything. I just wanted to open up a door for you to speak about, because I feel like this is one thing about you that I really admire, and I think that it's a really excellent quality you have, and I'm wondering how you cultivate it, how you use it, and how other people can adopt it in their life. And this quality
I'm nervous what you're going to say.
I know. You like the build-up?
It's making me nervous.
You are an excellent quitter.
Oh, yeah.
You're extremely good at creating boundaries in your life. And it supported you mentally, emotionally, physically. You know, you're able to quit certain things. You've quit coffee. You've, you know, you've quit smoking. You've set up solid boundaries in your life in many, many different areas. And I want to get at how this happens. How do you do it? Where did this come from? How can we all, you know, learn from what you've done? I don't know where you want to start with this. I know it's a big topic. But some of the things that are really helpful or really important, I think, for everyone to learn is setting boundaries around food.
Yes.
And you've done such an amazing job with that. Like, I'll be here having a treat, you know, more than once a week occasionally, and you do not give in to temptation. You are able to maintain those boundaries, and I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, yesterday, I just remembered that I haven't had chocolate in 4 months. I was calculating back, and I was like, when's the last time? Because my relatives had sent me my favorite white chocolate for Christmas, and I put it off, and then David ended up...
I ate the whole thing.
Slowly eating. But anyway, I just remembered. I was like, when's the last time? And it was 4 months ago.
You were planning on having it for Christmas.
Yeah, so I put it off because I was like, okay, I'm going to have a special treat at Christmas. And then I kept putting it off at Christmas because I was really enjoying... we had got a special whiskey, and we had a glass of that one night, and then I had red wine. So I was like, oh, this is good. I don't want to go crazy. Because if I have too much sugar, I get moody, I get bloated the next day, my face is puffy. I just know where it's going to go. So I limit myself. It's one or the other. So then all of a sudden it just rolled away on me, and I haven't had it. And
so
this is the thing with me.
You've gotten to.
I'm competitive. Now I'm going to see how long I can do this.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
But you're still happy. It's not like you're happy.
No, it's just chocolate.
Exactly. And that's where I want to get with this. Like, how do you have that mindset? Like, most people think, oh, I'm restricting my goodness.
Well, I don't believe that. Right? I don't believe anything that has, like, a negative effect on me is restricting my goodness. I think that's my ego trying to sneak in the back door and trick me. But in regards to quitting things, I mean, it started when I was younger because I formed bad habits when I was younger. So I would participate in, unhealthy relationships. So I had to quit that. I had to come to a real realization that it was me. I'm the one who needed to change, and then I just quit participating. I would smoke on the weekends socially, and then I realized this is disgusting. This is only negatively affecting my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to just quit. So I just quit.
Like in one day.
Yeah, I'm passionate about just quitting, and it's not easy.
No.
But the satisfaction of quitting something negative and then get it being hard at first, and then being challenging, then easing off to oh, this is hard, then that progress. It's so satisfying when you get on the other side of it where you don't care.
Mm.
I find that an addictive quality. I think it's as addictive for me as achieving, because it is a form of achieving. So for me...
It is a goal that you've set and then accomplished.
Right. Yeah. So for me, and I joke about it all the time, I'm great at quitting. I say it all the time. Because I am.
Yeah, no, excellent.
If I make a decision, that's it.
Yeah, it's happening.
And that is in regards to everything. Relationships, food. I had to set firm boundaries with food with myself. So when I first started eating healthy, I couldn't have peanut butter in the house. Because I would abuse peanut butter. I would just overuse and abuse peanut butter. So I had to have a conversation with you where I was just out of control with a certain thing. And until I got my boundaries up, I had to quit it. So for 2 years, we didn't have peanut butter in our house. Mm-hmm. Until one day, you're like, oh, I really want to get peanut butter for my toast. And I was like, yeah. I felt nothing about it. Now there's peanut butter in our house. Once in a while, I can have it. It doesn't bother me. The same way with chocolate and treats. I at first we couldn't bring it into the home. I couldn't do it. It was an addiction. I needed that sugar. I needed that junk. Now, like I said, we had a freezer full of my favorite chocolate for 4 months, and I completely forgot about it. Mm. I don't care.
It's so great.
So, I think it's that feeling of achieving, that you can set something up. There were so many years where I would say, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to set this goal. I'm going to, exercise for 30 minutes a day, and then I'm going to eat a salad every day for lunch, whatever. And I just failed so many times that I had to get to a place where I would sit down and I just cried that I was holding myself back. I was the only one. I could blame, people for treating me bad. I could blame my childhood traumas. I could blame relationships I was participating in. I could blame that my job was... I was self-employed and it was really hard and I couldn't have lunch breaks, and I could blame that I didn't make enough money to get good food. I could do all those things. But I got to the place where I humbly took responsibility. And I cried and I got embarrassed. And then I got to the place where, okay, now you're going to save yourself. You're going to become excellent at quitting. It's great. It's fun, and it feeds my rebellious side. I think it's funny that I say I'm great at quitting. I don't say I'm great at achieving, which I am.
Yeah.
Because all these things are.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's funny. First of all, I entertain myself with it.
Yeah.
And it's rebellious in a way.
Well, and I love this because it shows the possibility of evolving.
Yes.
It shows that, you were one way and it wasn't supporting you, and then you took that energy from failure, from embarrassment, and you evolved into something that supported you,
And I think it's healthy to get to those places. I think a lot of us are scared to look at the truth of things. I spent a lot of years protecting myself from saying, okay, Amy, all these things happened. Some were really terrible. Some is a pity party. Mm-hmm. Some is a big fat lie you're keeping good away from yourself. But the reality is now who you are and where you are, the only person holding you back is you. So, right now, you gotta get up and you gotta make your life better. Mm-hmm. And you have to do whatever it takes. But getting to that humble place and really, I had a good cry. Let it out. I did this. After a certain point, you can't blame other people.
It's true.
No matter what's going on, no matter what's happened, if you're staying in that place, you're the one who's dragging those past experiences or those boundaries. You're dragging it into today. Mm-hmm. It's gone. It's not here anymore. So, and I got embarrassed. And I mean embarrassed from a place of oh my gosh, it is me now. You know, like I had major childhood trauma, and anybody that knows the stories that have gone on in my life, they feel very sad. When we talk about it, you get tears in your eyes. It's very sad. Mm-hmm. Things that went on. But it's gone.
Yes.
So I can either hang on to that and ruin the rest of my life, because that's valid. It happened. I'm a wounded human. I can bring that. I can drag it forever. Or I can become optimal Amy and not let those things hurt me anymore. Yet then I can speak from a place of power about those stories. I can save Amy now. I'm saving childhood Amy today. Right?
I love that. Saving childhood Amy today. That's good.
Like, I'm healing this for her.
Right.
I'm here. It's all good. And, like, it's a continual process, too. Things sneak in all the time. Mm-hmm. You know? And I think a lot of people get exhausted with examining their life.
Right. But it is the core thing of what you're speaking about. You look at the truth. You look at that pity party that maybe you've been having for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Examine the truth. It's not forever, but it has to be checked in with once in a while.
And this is something that I've talked to you that I'm passionate about with girlfriends. And I've talked to you about it a lot. And there's a difference between being in friendships. In girlfriends, I feel like we nurture each other. It's a natural state. We want to tell each other that it's all okay. But I've found in my life that sometimes we hold each other back. So we will listen to years of a girlfriend talking about unhealthy behaviors, unhealthy relationships, and complain about it. And then we all have drinks and, oh, that sucks, and we kind of swaddle each other. And one of the main reasons I've had hard times in female relationships in the past is because I'm a fixer. I think that there's a certain allotted amount of time that, yes, of course, you talk about hard things, you talk it out, but if you don't come to a resolution and try to move forward, I don't think you're being a good friend. If you're not helping that person guide that person. I don't think that's a friendship. I think that's a codependent, holding each other back, unhealthy. I don't like it. So I think there's a difference. You know what I mean?
There's a major difference.
And now, my girlfriends that I have, it's kind of like we can talk about hard things. Mm-hmm. We can talk about how we feel about it. We can have a good cry. And then what are we going to do? How are we going to move forward?
Absolutely. I love that.
And then we encourage that. But if we're still talking about the same problems we have you're not helping anybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the moving forward is this setting goals that you do. Mm-hmm. And it's a major part of your focus. And what you found is that accomplishing these goals is much better than feeling that embarrassment, feeling that self-pity, feeling all those range of emotions that come with participating in the same thing over and over and over. Mm-hmm. So that has, turns you into an incredible quitter. You reach you're a goal setter and a goal achiever.
And it's so empowering. I wish I could explain that. Like, it's so empowering. It makes you more confident and feel more empowered in, everyday things. Just a small quitting something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, quitting something that's not supporting you, even if the smallest thing.
For me, like, I've done dairy, I've done, obviously, weekend smoking, excessive drinking on the weekends, there was...
Coffee?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about coffee. I quit coffee.
Oh, my gosh.
I've quit so many things.
I forgot about coffee.
See, I forgot.
Yeah, I know.
Coffee's not even on my radar anymore. There's such a huge list. We laugh about it all the time, but anything that is not serving you in a positive way, and once you do take control of that, you take ownership of it, you get real, you quit, you get away from it, the power and achievement that you feel from these tiny things, because we're living in this time where everybody wants to be a self-starter and an entrepreneur and follow their passion and make money doing what you love, and that's all beautiful, but it's not for 99.9% of the population. You don't just quit your day job and become one of those people on Instagram that drink green smoothies and do yoga on tropical beaches. And that's a hard jump. So doing the little accomplishments along the way, it's empowering. Because those big steps, those book deals and, those whatever your goals are, those big goals, sometimes they're really sad. because they take years, and you have to climb that ladder, in life.
Yeah, piece by piece.
We all think that you go from, because we hear those success stories and they're motivating and they're beautiful, but sometimes they're debilitating. Because not everyone goes from just like, the drug addict to the motivational speaker overnight. For a lot of us, it takes hard, committed work, day in and day out, unglamorous, uninstagrammable, not cute, sure. Like hard work. So in between those times, if you're not doing those continual self-growth and self-achievement things, it can be like a desert for years. Right? And especially for me, I found, because I have such huge dreams, that I find myself, if I'm not doing these little things and improving my life and optimizing
having
myself,
these accomplishments,
if I'm not optimizing and moving forward, I feel like nothing's happening. Right?
Right.
And there can be years in between of those big goals.
Yeah.
And just
But
sitting.
this is so fulfilling, because you're contributing positively to your own health, your
also,
career.
Yeah, well, you're setting yourself up to be that optimal person that you want to be. Right? So when all the other stars align, when all the hard work sets in, and when those things happen, you're going to be even better than you ever dreamed of. You're going to meet those opportunities and meet that hard work in those moments as just 10 times the capable human you were before.
So true.
Right?
So true. Well, thank you for walking us through it.
Well, I hope I explained it.
I think you did. I mean, we got to the core of it, and then the evolution through how to become an excellent quitter, and the reasons why, and how it can be beneficial in the short term and how it can be beneficial in the long term.
Right.
I love it. It's so important.
You've been witness to it.
I've been witness to the whole thing. Oh, I forgot that I quit coffee. What?
Yeah, I forgot about... I did.
I know.
How long ago was that now?
Like 2012? 11 or 12, yeah, something like that.
And I mean, I was drinking a pot a day. Just
straight out of the pot.
I was drinking a pot of coffee a day. And from a pot of coffee a day, I went to no coffee. That was funny.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your tips. I love it. I think it's so valuable, because people don't... I don't know that people value quitting as much as you do. And I think that I know I've seen it benefit your life in such a way that I think everyone should get an idea of, what can I do on a small scale to make my life better just by being a good quitter.
Freedom.
Love it. That's Healthy Rebel Radio. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.
See you.
Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamiHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Lane has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamiHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamiHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at DamiHealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.